Here's a pattern I've watched play out over and over. A business owner decides they need a CRM, they spend weeks researching, they read comparison articles, they watch reviews, and they finally pick one. Yay! They pay for it, they import their contacts, and then about 6 weeks later, they quietly go back in their spreadsheet. Why? Because they hated using the thing that they bought. The subscription keeps on coming out of their bank account and nobody opens the software. If that's you, or you're about to start research, stay with me. Because the mistake almost never happens at the moment you pick the tool, it happens before that. Welcome to Small Business Toolkit, the podcast where we help small businesses use modern technology to save time, make more money, and reduce stress. I'm really glad you're here. Last time we covered what a CRM is. Today, we're doing the harder part, how to choose one. And by the end of this, you should have a short list of 2, not 20 softwares. We're going to do not product demos, and I'm not going to tell you what's the best CRM because there isn't. There's only the right one for your situation. So let's work out what your situation actually is. So, for starters, let's reframe what matters most. Getting a CRM is not a software decision, it's actually a workflow decision. The tool that you pick will quietly shape how you sell, how you follow up, how much money you leave on the table. I've watched people run an entire business on a CRM they choose in an afternoon without ever setting up proper pipelines and lose deals because of it. So the mistake wasn't the tool. The mistake was that they never decided or defined what they needed before they went shopping. So, what are we going to do? In that order, define first, choose second. Before you open a single comparison table, there are 5 questions you need to answer. So, what I encourage you right now is to get a piece of paper and actually write the answers down. Because vague answers in your head are how you end up with the wrong tool. So, let's start. Question 1: how many contacts will you be storing 12 months from now? Not today, not in a year. If that number is under 1,000, almost any entry level plan will cope with your needs. Between roughly 1.5 to about 5,000, you are in the sweet spot for starter plans. About 5,000, you start reaching the pricing tiers, which are a bit pricey, or I would rather say you need now to pay from your pocket for the tools that you really want. So, as the contacts climb, remember that the bill climbs quietly with that as well. Question number 2. This is the one that most people often get wrong. Do you sell or do you save? I believe a sales CRM is built around moving deals through stages towards a certain close. A relationship CRM is built around tracking ongoing relationships, repeat clients, renewals, support history. These are genuinely different tools. If you're a coach, an agency, a contractor with repeat clients, you probably don't need a deal pipeline at all. You need something that keeps relationships warm. A lot of people buy the wrong type here and they can't work out why it feels like wearing someone else's shoes. Question 3: who else needs to use it? If it's just you, simplicity wins every time. If marketing needs to send a campaign from inside the CRM, that changes your shortlist. If support needs to see customer history, you're now looking at something that is ticketing that's built in. The number of people and, more importantly, the number of different departments narrows your options quickly. Question 4: what does your sales process actually look like? 5 stages, 15 stages, one pipeline, or 3 pipelines? What's the deal worth to you? Because a $50 job doesn't need a lot of forecasting and approval workflows. It just needs to be logged and it's done. A $50,000 project with a lot of moving parts is a completely different animal and needs a tool that can handle that complexity. And lastly, question 5: what's your budget? Honestly, most businesses can comfortably spend somewhere in the region of maybe 30 to 80 US dollars per month if you genuinely use the thing. Because a working CRM should be generating revenue, not costing you. Pretending you do it all for nothing often lands you with a tool that you can't use properly. Decide your real number and then stop wasting time looking at tools that you can't afford. So, what can a small business owner do today? Take 10 minutes, write down those 5 questions down and answer them properly. Everything that follows depends on those answers, and most people skip that bit. Right. Once you've got the answers, almost every CRM you've heard of falls into one of 4 groups, and your answer will point you at one of them. The first group in this is what we call the sales first CRM. These are built to move deals through a pipeline. They are visual, they are fast, they are narrow on the purpose. Pipe drive and close, they sit here. These are names of CRMs that are out there. You want this group if you have a defined sales process. You're chasing deals with a close date, and the questions you want answered every morning is, what should I do next? This is not your group if you are a service business with repeat customers and no real deals to push. So, first group is the sales first CRMs. The second group is the all in one platform. HubSpot, Zoho CRM, and Active Campaign are the obvious names. These do the CRM part, but they also bring email marketing, automation, ticketing, and all can talk to each other. You want this if you've got a separate sales, marketing, and support function in your business, and they all want to see the information of the same customer. You don't want it if you are one person because you'll be paying for and navigating a lot of things that you will never use. So the second group is an all in one platform. The third group, the relationship CRMs. Almost every CRM claims to support relationships, but a few genuinely are built around that. There's Copper and Streak CRM. These are the ones I would like to point to. It makes sense to make these as relationship CRMs because of how they are built. They are different because they live inside Gmail. Copper can tell you who you haven't spoken to in 90 days, which is exactly the question that a service business needs answering. This is your group if you're an agency, a coach, a consultant, or a freelancer, and your real sales process is just staying in touch with people properly. A fourth category is the lightweight CRMs. These are small, cheap, and deliberately simple. Begin, which is made by Zoho, is the one that stands out here. HubSpot's free tier sits in this space too. Even Notion can work as a CRM with the right template, though it isn't a CRM itself. This category suits a solopreneur with a few hundred contacts, a simple process. If you know you blow past 1,000 contacts within a year, think hard because moving out of this later might be painful and starting with another system. So, cheap does not automatically mean it's right for you. These are the 4 groups. So, the question is, what can you do today with this information that we've talked about? Take the 5 answers and work out which of these 4 groups they point at. So let me just give you a fictional example to make that concrete. Imagine a small marketing agency with 4 staff and about 20 retained clients. The owner bought a well known CRM, a sales first CRM, because that's what came to the top of the list when they were Googling. It never fitted. Your business isn't deals with closed dates, it's the same 20 relationships renewing and expanding, occasionally going quiet. The pipeline sits empty. Everyone drifted back to their email and shared spreadsheets, and the subscription is just running and is barely touched. When she eventually moved to a relationship focused tool that sat inside the email, the thing that changed wasn't the software's power, It was that she could finally see at a glance which clients she hadn't spoken to in months. She caught two accounts drifting before they left. Same business, same people, right category at last. So, how do you actually make decisions about which of these CRM I'm going to go with? Well, there are four steps that you can follow. Very simple. Step number one, look at the four groups. After looking at those questions, eliminate three groups and you're left with one group. If you're torn between two groups, just pick the simpler group. Remember, the groups that we're talking about, which groups are we talking about? We're talking about sales first CRMs, all in one CRMs, relationship CRMs, and lightweight CRMs. So you're picking one out of all of these four. If you're torn between two, just pick the simplest one. Step number two, from that group that you have chosen, pick two tools from that group. Not five tools, not six tools, just pick two of the best known tools. Remember, if you start with these, it's not a life sentence, it's just a starting point. So, step one, we have eliminated three groups. Step number two, we have picked two tools from that group we've chosen. Third step, we should not skip this step. You need to run a real workflow, not a demo, not a 3-hour review video. Sign up for the free trial yourself and do the actual job. Create a contact, add a note, set a reminder for next week, build a simple pipeline, move a deal, mark it. That's it. 10 minutes in each tool. What you're testing right now isn't just the feature list, it's mainly about how it feels. Honestly, I've rolled out tools because I opened the interface and I did not like it. And that's a legitimate reason. You're going to be in this tool every day, so you need to like it. So that's step number three. Run a real workflow in those two choices. Step number four, check the migration path before you commit, not after. What do we mean by migration path? Can you export your data? And in what format can you export it? If it exports to CSV, you're fine because you can always reshape and reload it somewhere else. Say you want to change your CRM, you just export in a CSV format. A CSV format is an Excel format that can be used to export information to, and you can then reload that information into a different software. So in this case, what you're avoiding is being locked into a system that you've outgrown. So you need an exit plan. So if you follow these simple steps, which is step number one, eliminate three groups. Step number two, pick two tools. Step number three, run a real workflow. And step number four, check if you have a migration path. This will help you to choose the right CRM for yourself. So what can you do right now? Pick one group, choose two tools, put 20 minutes in a diary to actually test both of these systems, not to read about them, and then use them. Now, let's say you've chosen the CRM that you want. What do you do on day one? Well, there are 5 things that I suggest that you need to do, and don't skip any of them. Number one, connect your email and your calendar before anything else. A CRM that's separate from your email and diary is just another place to type things. It needs to be connected. It needs to log conversations. It needs to remind you about meetings automatically. The second thing you need to do, define just 5 pipeline stages. Not 20, not 15, just 5. Let's start even with 4. So it's lead in, contacted, qualified, proposal sent, won or lost. That almost covers every kind of business. You can then later refine it so that it fits your entire process. The third thing that you need to do, only import active contacts. Not every email address you have collected since maybe 2005 is important. Take the people that you have actually spoken to in the last 90 days because these are the ones that might give you business. The rest can come later if you decide to re engage them. The fourth thing that you can do is to set up one automation, just one. Something like maybe a lead arrives, notify me, create a follow up task for tomorrow. That single automation makes the CRM earn its keep because it's turning this information into something that generates work, that generates money for you. So just one automation, not too much automation. The fifth thing, book at least 15 minutes on a Friday for weekly review. Look at the deals that didn't move that week, close them, chase them, or kill them. 15 minutes, not a lot. This habit keeps the CRM alive, and skipping it can end with 3,000 deals which are not real, which don't mean anything to you. If there's one thing from this episode that you can take home, let it be this: there is no best CRM. There's only one that fits your business and that actually works. You can't find that on a comparison website because these websites don't know your business. You do. Spend 10 minutes with those 5 questions, and then you skip 6 months of frustration that most people go through. If today's episode helped you, you'll find even more resources in the description below. I've put the 5 questions there as a free worksheet. No email address needed, just download it. I've also included some of the software tools mentioned in today's episode, and some may be affiliate links which help support the show at no extra cost to you. If you'd like to support Small Business Toolkit, that's a great way to do it. I would like to mention a very useful software called Zero. It's an online accounting system that is made for small businesses. They're running a promotion. If you are to use the link that's in my description, you'll get 90% discount for the next 6 months that you make use of it. Those are the first months that we're talking about. And yeah, this can be helpful too for you. Thank you very much for spending time with me. Don't leave this one until next week, by the way. Momentum dies in 48 hours. So pause this and then do the 5 questions and everything. Follow everything that we've talked about. If this was useful, follow or subscribe so that you can catch the next episode. Share it with someone who's currently using their spreadsheet. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your customers. I'll see you on the next episode of Small Business Toolkit.